Hello friends, today I want to discuss 5 books that changed the way I code. The first book is The Pragmatic Programmer. Lot of time we have tight deadlines, we are trying to make something work and we just stick in the code. Code is already not good, code is bad, even if code is good. The code should go into business layer, we just stick into the presentation layer so that it works, we can move on, get the work done, meet the deadline, and go home. We apply band-aids to the serious injuries where you need very serious treatment. We do duct tape programming. Duct tape is very popular tape in America that you can use for leaks. It is ugly, but it works in short term. And who cares about the long term? Long term, it may create more serious problems. So what this pragmatic programmer did is it changed my mindset about the bad code. If you are working on some code, it's bad, or you are putting some bad code, it can have a serious consequences over the health of your software. This book explained the broken window theory. What is a broken window theory? In America, there are a lot of big buildings where they look like trash. They make whole city look bad. So a lot of city planners started searching how this building became so bad. But they found out that if some window was broken, if the owner did not fix it immediately, so the residents of the building felt abandoned. They started throwing trash over everywhere. They started spraying the walls, and over the time that the building became ugly, a disaster, and made whole neighborhood bad and whole city bad. So that the city planners and the police, they started strict regulations. Whenever they see some small issue in some building, they force the owners to repair it immediately. A lot of time you saw, okay, there was a car, and if the window was broken, within few days people stripped car out of everything. Because window was broken, people assumed they can take away the car seats, all the valuable stuff inside the car. So the idea is never to keep a broken window, fix it immediately. And after that, I stopped sticking bad code inside the software. Think about it. Put elegant solution. Put nice solution. As Uncle Bob said, always follow the Boy Scout rule. Leave if you use some playground to set up your camps. Leave the ground cleaner when you leave. Second book that has impact on me was Design Patterns. I started coding in procedure-based programming. I started coding using procedure-based programming, and I moved to object-oriented programming. Initially, moving to object-oriented programming was very hard. I knew I should not put too much code in my interface, but I did not know if I could design some entity classes and all the coordination, orchestration code I end up writing in the presentation layer. So I knew I did not use interfaces initially at all. I didn't understand what are the interfaces. So this design pattern was the first book on the design. The authors of this book are called Gang of Four. They recognized that a lot of people who comes to object-oriented programming, they find it very hard to switch to object-oriented programming. They end up doing procedure-based programming in object-oriented programming. So they came first book on the design. This idea came from a designer in the housing industry. We have problems which occur again and again in a context. If we have a solution, we can just apply that solution. So these 4 designers, they identified some problems that happen in the software industry in object-oriented programming over and over. So they documented a lot of these solutions in this book. After reading this book, I got the idea of the design. My coding changed significantly. I was putting more code now in domain layer or business layer. My presentation layer was thin. they had only code related to presentation. The third book which impacted me was Head First Design. The original design patterns was very good. The problem was the examples were in C++. I did not know C++. These examples did not make sense to me. What I used to do is take the intent of the design pattern. Oh, okay, factory pattern, you need to have a layer which produces objects. It should be outside of presentation layer. I just to take the intent and implement my way. That time I was using Visual Basic. Visual Basic was not fully object-oriented programming. And then .NET came and this book came. This book was Java. Java is similar to C#. So I could really understand how they are implementing the design pattern. Command pattern I could not understand from Gang of 4. In this book I could understand, okay, command pattern is so powerful, it can be so useful. So this book was great. It took a very complex subject and presented it in very funny way, very simple way. They use a lot of pictures. They give you a lot of problems to solve. It is fun to read and I think it's very useful book if you want to get into designing object-oriented programming books. The next book which changed the way I code is Clean Code. Clean Code is making sure that you write code that people can understand, that you write functions which make sense, which represent some action in your domain event. You write code that it is a document by itself. So you write code where your functions are meaningful, your variables are meaningful. Uncle Bob gave a nice idea that your function should be only 4 lines of code. Your function should be doing only one thing and only one thing. Clean Code encouraged me to write code which is elegant, readable. I can learn about the business of the application without worrying about the if and else statements. The fifth book which changed the way I code is Refactoring by Martin Fowler. A lot of time I saw the code. I knew there was a problem with this code, but I couldn't identify what is the problem. I saw a function, it was taking 25 variables, some reference, some y value. It looked ugly, it has problem, but I couldn't tell that time. So this book tells me, oh, there are coding smells. So what is refactoring? Refactoring is when you change the structure of the code without changing the behavior of the code. A lot of time we see the code, it doesn't make sense, it is ugly, it has a lot of smells. So this book did a great job of listing all the smells. You have big function, you have just implemented some code. So it gives you some good techniques how to fix those kind of problems. Because of this refactoring, I appreciated ReSharper from JetBrains. Now Visual Studio gives you a lot of refactoring capabilities. So rewriting function name is easy. Before these refactoring capabilities from the Visual Studio, it used to be very hard to change the namespace. Now you can, a lot of time we start things and with something and afterwards we know, oh, this name would be more meaningful, this namespace would be more meaningful. So these refactoring tools made refactoring very easy, less error prone, and make sure that code is more readable and you can add more functionality without breaking anything. So friends, if you like this video, watch my other videos in application blog. Also like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for your regular updates. Connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter, especially LinkedIn. If you like small summaries of the video, I will be posting a lot of small summaries of the video on LinkedIn. Thanks again.